Welcome to the Raider Talks midweek episode. I'm your host Art Navarrete, here alongside Nick Ibarra. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button down below for Raider content all season long. Nick, Antonio Pierce, the interim head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. He's only been there for a week, in this position for a week. And everything he has done has been electric. He goes out before we even play a game. We're all pumped up about him.
Yeah.
He gives a good press conference. They're blasting straight out of Compton. They're dancing at practice. Electric locker room. The Raiders go out, blow out the Giants. A game that we haven't seen from the Raiders in a long time.
Yeah.
And this little stint right here for Antonio Pierce, he's going to have 9 games. 9 games to prove himself to be a head coach in this league and be the head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders next season. What's his record need to be for the Raiders to bring him back on?
You know, that's a hard thing to look at because I'm going to tell you what, he's done one hell of a job in just the 1 week that he's been there. You know, just last week we're here, breaking news, McDaniels and company get fired, they're out. Fast forward a week, we have a blowout win against the Giants, locker room is rejuvenated, and everything just seems good as of now. 1 weekend, he's 1-0. Man, just how we got this locker room just up. You know, and it seems like because of how the locker room is and everything, you know, he can only have just this one win and he could be our head coach for next season. But I think realistically, what he's done with this locker room and everything, I think maybe 4 or 5 wins. You stick around that 500 mark, 5-4, 4-5. You know, get maybe a significant win against the Chiefs, maybe against the Dolphins coming up. And you look at him and be like, okay, we can't make the same mistake twice. Let's go AP.
I mean, not only has Antonio Pierce fired up the locker room, but he has fired up Raider Nation. He has fired up the fans. These fans who have been divided. I mean, fans have been divided for this Raider organization for a long time.
Yeah,
I mean, the past 5 or 6 seasons, which is tough. But he has brought the Raider fans together. First, we had the Derek Carr thing.
Yeah.
Fans are divided in that. Then we have Josh McDaniels. Fans are divided, and then fans are going against McDaniels. And now AP comes in, and the whole Raider Nation is together, and it's pretty cool to see right now. So that's a factor that has to come in to, you know, deciding if he's going to be our head coach or not. And like you said, I think a 5-4 record, I think a winning record gets it done. But it depends on the games we lose, the games we win, how we lose in that 5-4 range. I think 4-5 is not going to get it done, but I think 5-4 will get it done depending on how these games go.
True. Depending on how these games go too. But I just think Mark Davis, after our playoff run, let Bisaccia walk. That whole locker room, I feel like wanted Bisaccia. Hey, he was our guy. We did this. We went 7-5 with him. Bring him back. He wanted the Patriot way. He wanted the regime, that new regime to come in. Didn't pan out. I think it's going to be hard for him to sit there and, okay, let's go a different way. You know, this whole, like I said, this whole locker room changed in a matter of a week. You know, you have Max Crosby on the Pat McAfee show today. Man, it's fun. It's exciting. It's rejuvenated. People are playing cornhole, video games. Josh Jacobs and Devontae are playing basketball, and it's just fun. It's back to just being fun. We're just playing football. We're not worried about anything else. We're just playing football, and that's what AP's bringing to the table. You know, so for me, I think it's right around that 500 mark, 4-5, 5-4. You know, and shoot, you know, it's doable. I looked at our schedule today; it's doable.
Yeah, I agree that for Mark Davis, it's really going to be tough in a situation similar to the Bisaccia situation. But it depends. I mean, Bisaccia made the playoffs.
Yeah,
Bisaccia made the playoffs, made a run, and Mark Davis still didn't go with him. And this situation right here, I think that AP has, I mean, the playoffs right in front of them still. We're still in the hunt. We're still in the mix. We win a game against the Jets. We win a game against the Jets on Sunday Night Football. We're right in the mix. I think Antonio Pierce, for him to want this job and get this job, well, he obviously wants it, but for him to get this job, I think that Jets game is really, really huge to get back to 500.
Yeah, you got to get back to 500 Sunday. You know, and I watched the Jets firsthand Monday night. They can't score. They can't do anything. And it's going to be all about our defense. You know, and we're going to have to limit them, their offense. And, you know, if this becomes a ball game, and we'll get more into it for the pregame show, but if this becomes later into the ball game, hey, you know, Wilson has the ability to, make big plays at the end of the game. But let's not get them there, and let's run away with this like the Chargers did.
But yeah, I agree with you 100%. This Jets team is great defensively. Offensively, they're not good at all. But this is a game the Raiders need to win. They need to win. No matter who the coach is. No matter if any coach is on the sideline. So I think this is a really big game for AP. This Jets game, because this is a game could get back to 500 and changes the whole course of the season. And then you got the next 2 games against the Dolphins and the Chiefs, which are going to be tough games, but that's going to be where he can really separate himself. But this Jets game is important. Very important for him to want to get his job back. And just, not even the Jets game, but just winning all the games against the teams you're supposed to beat is going to be crucial. I was looking at our schedule. The teams that we need to beat, we've got the Vikings who have an injured quarterback that's not going to play. We thought it was going to be Kirk Cousins. Now it's probably going to be Josh Dobbs or something. We got the Colts. We got Denver still. We got the Chargers still, which that's winnable. O'Connell's second time against them. Now it's, hey, we got the Dolphins and then 2 against the Chiefs. Let's split against the Chiefs. We look good against the Dolphins. Hey, who knows? We come out of there with the win. We're looking really good, and that 10-7 record looks doable to get us into that wildcard spot. Yeah, I would love for this coach to do something really special
in
Vegas. I think it'll be very awesome. We looked at each other the other night, just the way the Raiders looked. I know it was the Giants. I know they're a struggling football team. But in the National Football League, it's tough to get blowouts. The teams that are usually the playoff teams, blowout teams. Blow out the bad teams, good teams, whatever. The Raiders got a blowout. We looked at each other. What if we run the table from here on out? What if we run the table? I know that's crazy. I know that's crazy, but the way this team looks right now, it has that look of when the Raiders went on a 4 or 5 game win streak to go to the playoffs. 4-game win streak to go to the playoffs in 2021, where they faced off against the Bengals in the AFC wildcard. This is giving me those vibes, but even better.
Yeah, it has that feeling. It really has that feeling of 2021, and we tried to come up last year and say, hey, this is that same feeling. But in reality, this has that feeling, of all the off the field stuff, Josh McDaniels and everything. The locker room was done. They were done. No one liked McDaniels. You heard about the meeting. We don't know how much is true, how much is false. But Max Crosby said that meeting did happen. That they were done. And Mark Davis said, hey, we're bringing in Antonio Pierce, you're going to be elevated head coach. And within a day or so, me and you were all over Instagram and Twitter, and you just saw them just happy, playing basketball, just being free. And that just led to something on Sunday. And I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself, but I think no matter who we were going to play Sunday, it might have been the same result. We came out there with a burst of energy, and just we're going to punch anybody in the mouth. And I hope that continues going forward. And we do good Sunday, and then we got 2 great teams ahead on our schedule.
Yeah, I was telling you, the way we looked, the way we came out, like you said, no one was going to beat us last week, for sure, 100%. It's just if we keep that energy, keep that momentum going. But I told you, bring it on. Whoever wants it, bring it on. The Eagles, the Chiefs, the best teams in the league, let's go play them. That's how confident I feel in this Raider team right now. And that's because of Antonio Pierce. And looking ahead at this schedule, you got the Jets, winnable game. Dolphins, winnable. The Chiefs games are always winnable. They're division. And you got the Vikings, winnable. Chargers, winnable. Colts, winnable. Denver, winnable. You look at that schedule, the rest of this remaining schedule, which is 8 games, you think, we can really, in reality, get 7 wins, 1 loss, maybe 1 against the Chiefs. So that's pretty special that could happen. Or 6-2 is very doable as well. And 6-2 might do it. 6-2 might get you in.
I'm gonna say this: in order for us to go to the playoffs, you got to split with the Chiefs. And I'm not saying for the division or anything, because I think if we do make it to the playoffs, we're gonna go in as a wild card. So this isn't for division or anything, but we still got the Chiefs twice. And as a matter of fact, we got them two times in 4 games.
Yep.
And so when I look at the good teams that are coming up, you got to throw Miami in there, and you got to throw the 2 Kansas Cities in there. You got to at least get 1. And the rest of these, they're doable, and you should win. We've owned the Broncos. The Colts has a losing record.
Vikings don't have Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, they look good, but they're with a second stringer.
And then we always beat the Chargers. We always split the Chargers.
And
beat
then
them,
you know
and leave
Jets,
it.
they're really good on just one side of the ball and really really bad on the other. You know, and we'll talk more about this on our pregame show. But for a team that's gonna come in, only put up 8 touchdowns in the year, their quarterback is struggling. They can't move the ball. They're only putting up field goals. We got to take advantage of that.
Yeah, so looking at the schedule, everything is in front of AP. Everything lines up really well for AP. And it's about how he can keep this locker room motivated, keep it going, keep this energy that he's had. It's about how he coaches these players, how he coaches the games, and how he develops as a coach. Especially, you know, as we keep going further along down the line toward the end of the year, other teams might be looking at our offense and starting to adjust again to our film and stuff like that, with Bill Hardegre putting his stamp on this offense.
That is true.
So it's about how these guys coach and keep moving forward, keeping that momentum for this football team. But I'm excited. I like that we're in the situation where we could potentially have our Raider head coach for the next several years. And it won't be that expensive either. It'll be cheaper.
And you know what I was thinking too is let's just say we do go that 4-5, 5-4 route. Max Crosby's going to be on this team next year. Devontae's going to be on this team next year. Some of these leaders are still going to be on this team next year. And you know what you're going to get out of Antonio Pierce. You had your first look. You had your sneak preview of 9 games of this is what it's going to be like if he's the head coach. You don't know what it's going to be like if, I'm just throwing names, Harbaugh comes in or so-and-so comes in, or, you know, but you know what you're going to get out of AP. He motivates this locker room like he has been for these next 9 weeks. We go do something special, get some significant wins, you know, and stay around that 500 mark. He's got a really great shot.
Yeah, if he keeps the same energy that we've had this past week for the next 8 weeks, I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to have a winning record as a Raiders coach.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt in my mind that this team in the next 8 games can be a team that goes 6-2. If we keep the same energy that we've had in the locker room. I know all we beat was the Giants. I know that's what you're saying through the screen. But the way we played, the way we looked really good, and it looks like we're only going to get better. Because we got way better last week from the McDaniels week before.
We did.
And I only imagine us taking steps forward.
Yeah.
And forward and forward. More as Antonio Pierce puts his stamp on this Raider team, especially on this Raider defense. I can see Antonio Pierce working with Patrick Graham on this defense, looking at the linebackers and helping out those linebackers in a defensive scheme. Stopping the run. He's emphasized stopping the run. I can see us stopping the run moving forward because of Antonio Pierce being the head coach and really forcing it down at Patrick Graham's throat to do that. And offensively, Bill Hardegre, let him get going. Let him put his stamp on this offense. Josh McDaniels ruined this offense. Josh McDaniels ruined Devontae Adams. Josh McDaniels ruined Josh Jacobs, Hunter Renfrow. He might have even ruined Jimmy G. We don't know how good Jimmy G will be with Bill Hardegre. But this Raider offense could get better. And under this coaching staff, I feel pretty good about it.
I think for the first time in a while, everything's just looking up. And no matter what, you know, and I was thinking today, this is the first time where it's just like cool, like this, like I'm not worried about anything having to do with the Raiders. We're cool. We're under good hands. You know, even though it was one game, but that locker room and everything, we're playing well as of right now, and we're in store for a good 8 games.
Having fun again.
We're having fun again.
The players are having fun. Us as fans are having fun.
Yes.
I had a homework assignment the other day asking me about what's the only thing stressful in my life or stuff like that. And for normal people, it'll be other things. But for me, I was like, it's the Raiders. The Raiders are what stress me out. But this is the first week where I kind of been stress-free, so it's been pretty good.
And you know what's good is when the Raiders win, you can watch and listen to everything. You go on Twitter, it's nothing but positive things about Raiders. You go on YouTube, you hear YouTubers like us, or you hear all the Raider stuff, all the post-game interviews and the coaches talk. Smile on their face. They're happy. You're happy to watch them. You know, instead of getting mad or we should have done this, or we should have not went for 2, or we should not kick for goal. You're happy all week, and you're just ready to see more of that the next coming Sunday, and that's where we are right now.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting moving forward, especially Sunday night against the Jets. That's going to be a huge game. Get the Raiders back to 500. Clean slate. If we get there, we'll probably be maybe 1.5 out of the wild card. So it's going to be really, really, really interesting moving forward.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be exciting. We got to go.
Scoreboard watching this week, too.
Yeah. Now you start. Now it's November. You got 2 months left, and you got to get to 500. You got to get to 500. This is the time around Thanksgiving where you start playing your best ball. We saw that in 2021. We beat the Cowboys, lost against the Chiefs, maybe a week or 2 weeks after that. Then after that, went on a run. You got to play your best ball. You got to play it now. And this locker room got rejuvenated at a great time because now we can start running the table on people.
We'll see you guys Friday afternoon for our Raiders game preview. We'll see you then. Go Raiders.
Go Raiders.